Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lead Podcast.
Two girls, one mic.
I'm your host, Daily Corona.
Co-host, Yvonne Quesada.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to start these episodes by doing small warm-ups, and then we were kind of talking that at the end of each episode, we'll do like a fun fact. We could do a general or we could do a personal.
Yeah.
But we want to start with icebreakers and then just finishing on with. So what I was telling Riley is that this week I was watching a video on social media, and it was about this mom who had bought a new vehicle, and she went for her kid at the school, and mind you, it's a little sweet boy of like maybe 7-8 years old at the most. And she gets a big truck, I think it was like
Como dicen, no, una troconona.
y del año, girl. So va la mamá, and she's recording herself, and she's telling us like, hey, I'm gonna go pick up my kid, and I'm gonna do a prank on him. So va, lo recoge, lo saca, and she's recording y le dice al niño, oh no, nos robaron nuestro carro, no está en the parking lot. And the kid's like trying to like look for their car, right? And he's like, Mom, where's our car? And then she's approaching to the new truck, and then she's like, you know what? Let's just steal a car. Come on. And then she runs towards the passenger door, and she opens it. Bailey, the kid freaks out.
Aww.
And he's all like, no, Mom, no. And he starts like telling the mom, what is wrong with
Aww.
you? And
she taught him right.
That's like, I went into the comments, and the comments were full of that. But the kid like turns around and like stands up to her and starts telling her, Mom, stealing is not okay.
Aww, baby.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. So I right away obviously went into the comments to see like
they're always better than the video.
Yeah. And there was this comment that caught my attention, and it's a quote, and I wanted to like read it to you to tell me what you think of this. The quote says, it takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies.
Oh.
But a great deal more to stand up to your friends and family. And then the quote is from Albus, I don't know the last name. I'm going to butcher it. So I'm not even going to try. So what do you think of that? What do you think of like how hard it is to stand up or to call out your friends of something wrong that they're doing? Like, do you feel comfortable doing that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, it just depends on the relationship and also like how you say it. But you're asking me.
Mm-hmm.
I, like we've talked about, I'm very straightforward, and I don't know how to put the glitters and all of that. So maybe if I tell somebody, it might come off a little weird, and then I'll like try to make joke of it to like lighten it. But then it's still probably, whenever you're being called out, it's always like you feel embarrassed.
Right.
So, but I think like going back to when we talked about like what's important in a friendship is loyalty and trust. So I think you have to be able to trust the person. The person has good intentions. So like if you tell me something, like I want you to tell me because that's just who I am. But I want you to tell me because I know that you appreciate my friendship enough to tell me, hey, this isn't right. Like think about that. Right. But I've had situations where I just pray. I just pray for the specifics. Something that somebody told me, remember it happened with us, and I told you like a year later or something, and I told you like a couple months ago that I was like, hey, somebody brought this up to my attention.
Yes.
And so I was like debating, should I tell her, should I not, because I feel like we're close now, like day by day we get closer,
right? And
I was just like, I don't know. I was like, maybe it's not my place. She's like, ¿qué te importa? So I was like, I can't change it anyways, so I'm just gonna pray about it. And then when I told you, you were like, I don't know, I feel like you kind of took it like, dude, whatever. And so if I would have told you at the moment, you probably would have been like, cállate chismosa. You wouldn't have told me, but you would have thought that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't feel like it would have been taken as well. Does that make sense? So sometimes you just have to, it depends on the situation, and you just have to pray about it. If it's something that's like, if you're going to be able to say something and it's going to be able to like, that it's going to change or sway or something, then say it. But if it's not, just let God be God and just pray about it, and pray about it every day, and then just see where that goes. And then when the opportunity like presents itself, then just kind of say it there.
All right. I'm going to throw a couple scenarios now that you were talking about all this. Let's say I'm cheating on my husband.
I'm going to tell you. I don't mess around with cheating. That bug. Do you see how heated I got? Like my eyes.
Did you guys see your eyes? Okay, then you.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell your husband.
Then you,
because I don't think that's my place.
Right.
I think it's your place. But if I knew, like, one, you're not gonna do it in front of me because I wouldn't allow that.
Right.
So like you're comfortable doing things in front of people condone your actions. Exactly. I don't condone that. So I know you're not going to do it in front of me.
Pretty much you do stand by this quote, because you would call out somebody that's doing something like that, especially me, that I'm your friend, family almost. Or let's say we went to the store. We would go to the store and I'm going to steal something. What would be your reaction?
Depends what.
No, girl. Like, okay, electronic device. I don't know, a camera.
And I knew you were doing it?
And yeah, I'm going to, and I told you. I'd be like, Riley, I'm going to take this.
I'd be like, dude, whatever.
And then
you come out, let's say, I'd be like, dude, go back. Or give it as ofrenda.
Use it for church.
Give it as ofrenda. Here, Lord, I paid it, but pay it.
Okay, so yeah, pretty much you do stand by this quote that you would pretty much stand up for.
But it's because it's funny, because I'm just thinking, we say that, but if you were cheating on your husband, would I tell you? I don't know.
I think you would.
I say that right now, según yo viene acá.
No, conociéndote, creo que sí. I think you would tell me something, or you would tell any of your friends something.
No, I wouldn't tell my friend. Because that's you. Like, that's, I wouldn't tell somebody else, hey, this is how I would say it. I know somebody that's doing this. What do I do? But I would never say, I saw Yvonne cheating on her husband.
No. You would hold me or your friend accountable if your friend was the one cheating.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd be like, dude, you have to tell her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's important. Because then I'm condoning it.
Yeah, and what if the friend's not going to tell her?
You're going to have a timeline, baby. You better freaking figure it out.
I love that. Yeah.
I had again, I remember, I think it was the last episode that I talked about this little boyfriend I had and how traumatizing that was for me. I don't care that it was 20 years ago.
Yes.
That relationship taught me so much. But I had a friend. Come on, we were kids. I was literally 15.
Okay.
But and it was not 20 years ago. I'm not that old. We're almost there, but not yet. And she told, so a friend of mine and him, this is him, this is my friend.
Okay.
Okay. And there was a little triangle here. And my other friend, my pinky, she told her, she said, girl, I don't know how she found out. I don't know if this girl told her. I don't know. But she said, you better tell Daily tomorrow or I'm going to tell her. But I already knew. So then I already knew, and I called my little boyfriend, and he was doing his crocodile tears. But we were so little, and I really appreciated that she did that for me. She had my back.
She did.
And she's like, you better tell her or I'm going to tell her. And I was like, yes. Interesting. Because that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But she at least gave them you better do it. Mm-hmm. But I already knew. But she told me first.
Gotcha.
And I'm glad, because then imagine how embarrassing to find out on the spot from them.
Right.
At least I already cried. I already had my shock, and I was waiting for it as a confirmation.
Gotcha.
Because que vergüenza, imagine that, I don't know. They tell Jose, hey, Daddy's cheating on you, instead of telling me and letting me tell him. I guess that's different. But you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was just I appreciated that. So I think that's something good that I learned from that relationship.
Yeah, seriously.
Or from that chaos, from that drama. Gosh,
okay. Well, yeah, I think I would also I think I would also have that conversation with my friend, like you mentioned. If we have that trust, esa confianza para hablar de cosas serias, I would be like, hey, I don't think what you're doing is right. I mean, I wouldn't be rude about it and I wouldn't be judging her or anything, but I would definitely let her know that that's not okay and that's not something that we stand by.
Like, you need to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Or what are you doing? Stop it. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess, yeah, all you can do is confront them.
Yeah.
Because then what do you do?
Yeah. And now that I brought it up, like there was this experience that was coming to my mind. Yo tenía dos amiguitas en high school que pues siempre tomaban malas decisiones, pero pues ahí me gustaba estar, ¿no?
Claro. La novela.
Y haz de cuenta de que en una de las ocasiones ellas vivían en un Walmart del neighborhood y pobrecitas, their background era muy doloroso porque no tenían ni mamá ni papá, se estaban criando con un abuelo y un tío y el abuelo y el tío tenían like a lot of addiction, so ellas estaban criando solas, mind you. Entonces, a veces iban a su casa y no había nada de comer, no había mandado ni nada.
Aww.
Y en una de esas veces, pues yo fui a su casa, no había nada de comer y me dijeron, vamos a Walmart. Nunca, corazón, nunca, sabiendo las intenciones de ellas. Yo pues, yo vamos a ir a Walmart a agarrar unos snacks y comprarlos y pagarlos.
Yeah.
Pues llegamos y las muchachitas se fueron al donde venden pollito y todo. Y agarraron su cajita, ya ves que la agarras y vas y lo pagas en the cajeros. Pues comenzamos a caminar and they started eating it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna pay it.
You're like, I eat my food in the store and then I go pay it.
Yeah. Y para mí, pues yo nunca había visto eso. Like, I wasn't brought up like that. So I was like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna pay for it. So we were kind of just browsing through Walmart now. Y al último que nos vamos.
And did they take the food out or they just picked out inside?
No, allí viendo todas las cosas se fueron comiendo el pollo.
You know what? Good for them.
I don't know, girl, because I remember feeling cuando nos salimos y me di cuenta que no pagaron nada.
Did you eat anything? Did you sin?
No, bueno, yo no comí nada porque yo ya había comido. Mind you, yo venía nomás a visitar. So yo no tenía hambre ni nada. And, pero cuando vi que no pagaron, no les dije, like, hey, van a pagar o algo así, pero, like, en mi corazón, like, it didn't sit right, you know? It was just so hard. And I remember telling myself, I will never come to Walmart with them again.
Yeah, you learned.
Never. Y sí, I never did. I mean, poco después pasaron algunas cosas y dejamos de ser amigas. Pero yeah, girl, I remember that experience.
You know, that one's hard. I think sometimes how old were you?
We were in freshman.
Oh, you were older already.
We were 15. We were 15.
Because I was like, if there were kids, that's first of all,
15.
that's what their mom showed them, or dad.
Pues no tenían mom, dad.
So who was it? Grandma, grandpa?
Uncle and grandpa. So
somebody showed them to do that, because you don't just like do that. So somebody showed them to do that. And then they don't have anything. What are they supposed to do? You know? Honestly, so, like, it's, like, bad and good. I don't know.
I think
it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, now that you mention it, maybe it was, like, a survival mode technique that they started developing. Porque no, literalmente, ellas me decían. Y sabes que por un tiempo, ellas después de la escuela se venían a mi casa a comer. Y mi mom decían, pues estas ya están viviendo aquí o qué, porque ahí se la querían mantener todo el día.
Yeah, that's sad.
And we're like, yeah, like, who cares? Let them stay here. And they're like, okay, just avísale a whoever, you know, porque se quedan hasta las 10, 11 de la noche ahí.
Yeah. And, you know, who knows what impact you made in their lives, because that's crazy. Like, there's so many broken homes, and, like, the fact that they didn't have anything to eat, that's an essential.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they had a roof over their home and they did. Clothes and stuff, but food is also as important, or even more. You could live under a bridge, but you need to eat. Mm-hmm. Dang, that's sad.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about, because that reminded me, because I stole a lot when I was a kid.
You did?
And I don't know why. I think it's the influence that you have. Y según yo, I was like, no, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that because I'm stronger than that. No, it's not true. Who you hang out with is who you become. ¿Cómo es el dicho en español? Dime con quién te juntas y yo te diré quién eres. And it's true. It's true to a lot. That's why even going back to the beginning of like, would I condone cheating? No, because then that means like I low-key do it too, or I'm okay with it. But I did that too. We were still out of makeup. Oh. I remember one time that I was stealing lip glosses. I had like these baggy pants. And I was putting like lip glosses and makeup for what? I don't know. And then somebody caught me, thank God. And they like told me, and they went to go tell my mom, and then she had to pay for one that was open. But they probably had already seen me doing that, you know? And I'm like, ¿qué negocio tenía haciendo? I don't know. I think it was for the thrill.
¿Pero aprendiste esa maña de alguien? Or
I think
like,
so.
Solita?
Que naciera de mí, no. Well, I think I want to say, I'm never going to say the person's name, but I'll tell you off camera. But I think it was this one person that was in our lives, and that person was very like influential in a lot of things that happened.
Okay.
And a lot of things that went wrong mostly in my childhood.
Gotcha.
And I think it was attributed to that.
Okay.
So I don't know what they learned, but I think they brought that over to our household.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to blame them. And I hope I don't say whether they're this or that, because I don't know if anybody figured it out. But anyway, yeah. Okay. But yeah, so I don't know. That's hard. Poor kids, poor girls. I hope they're doing okay.
Yeah, I hope so too.
All down, all sad. Pobrecitas.
I mean,
it's real. It happens.
It is real. So, yeah.
So you would call it out. Good for him, that little boy. He's so cute. That's so cute.
I'm going to show you the video.
Oh.
It's so cute.
I wanted, before the month ends, it is, March is Social Worker Awareness Month. So I have something for you.
No way. Stop.
So give me a second.
You're so cute. Miley.
Here you go.
Come here. Give me a hug. Thank you, girl.
For Social Worker Month.
Oh my gosh.
Just a little something.
These are gorgeous.
Just a little something to say. Thank you for all that you do. And the hard work. You could put them back there.
You're so cute lately. Thank you so much.
Guess we could take this guy.
And we could put these ones. Aww. Girl, roses. Oh my gosh, qué hermosas.
Yeah, I just wanted to do a little appreciation before the month ends. And to celebrate you a little bit, to literally give you your flowers. Thank you for everything that you do. I don't know what everything your work entails, but I imagine it's hard. And then it's like working with children. Yeah. So that can take a huge toll, especially now as having a child.
Right.
And trauma in general is awful. So anyways, thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Look, they match your nails.
Oh, they do, huh?
So I'm going to grab a little bit of tea here.
Okay, so we could jump into it.
I'll take this off.
So we decided that the topics for this episode would entitle a little bit of like our history with our parents and their beliefs. Como latinos, mexicanos, hispanos. ¿Qué piensas acerca de nuestros padres no creyendo en terapia? Or what was your experience with your parents, with adults in your life, with these type of beliefs?
So I think, sorry, I have a little something going on in my throat. My parents are very like closed off. They don't really talk about anything.
Okay.
So I can't, even right now, like I called my mom to ask her, and I was like, I wanted to ask you and the lady that she works with, because she's even an older generation. And she's like, oh, I'm not at work anymore. I was all, yeah, but you exist. Answer the question. You know, she's all trying to not answer.
Avoid it.
And then she's like, well, what are you doing for your podcast? I'm like, woman. So she doesn't even want to answer that, you know, like she just gets really weird about it.
Okay.
But I called my suegra and I was asking her, and she's like, well, you know, I think it was very taboo because in our culture, and maybe let me know if you guys can relate to in different cultures, but in the Mexican culture, and maybe even broaden it enough to Latino culture, they label you as loca. like you're crazy. You're literally crazy. You need to be in a manicomio. That's why you're going to talk to somebody. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Or they, there's like a religious aspect to it of just like, just go to God, just talk to God about it. Or also like communal thing. Like, I'm just going to talk to my comadre. She can figure it out for me and it's fine. But I don't even think they would talk to their moms about it in that culture. I think our culture might, but I think their culture, it was like, I'm not even going to talk to my mom, because then what? She's going to be like, oh, you're right, you probably deserved it, or something weird. One thing my suegra said that I agree. She's like, our generation and before was just a lot of ignorance. She's like, and you guys now have so much information. There's social media, there's the internet.
I agree.
She said, and our culture was very ignorant. She's like, a lot of people, even in my generation, she said, aren't open to new ideas. She's like, but I am. She's like, but I don't speak for everybody. She's like, I understand that there's new things to learn. She's like, but most people in my generation se cierran and that's it. You're crazy. Why are you talking to people? So that's kind of what I was trying to investigate. What about you?
Igual, mis padres y ciertas personas en mi familia tenían porque ahorita no sé what are their thoughts recently about therapy. Mi concepto. Pero siempre decían, ellos tenían el concepto de que para qué hablar con alguien que no sabía de lo que estabas pasando, o averíguatelas tú solos, o como tú decías, o sea, no compartían absolutamente nada con nadie y ellos se lo averiguaban y era muy raro para ellos hablar con un desconocido acerca de sus problemas.
Or you know what I've heard, and maybe because you reminded me, que a veces es like, lo que pasa en la familia se queda en la familia.
Sí, también.
Tiene mucho que ver como que el círculo, núcleo familiar se protege mucho, hasta las atrocidades.
Y hasta con eso también supe que era como vergüenza si alguien más sabía que ibas a terapia, porque iban a tener un concepto de ti como que, ¿estás haciendo terapia? ¿Que estás loco o qué?
O que te hicieron.
O que
tienes. Qué ridículo.
O que algo malo tienes.
Yeah.
So it was like a very negative concept. So, yeah, I think transitioning to us, our generation, I think, and well, I'm just going to speak for like myself. I believe that I have been breaking those kind of like thoughts and beliefs, because I do remember growing up with like thinking, oh my gosh, therapy, why would I even go to therapy, right?
Really?
Like, yeah, I did. I remember maybe in high school, like yo nunca pensé que yo solita me consiguiera terapia. Entonces, para que yo hiciera algo así, I think it was like a huge step in my family. Yo no conozco a nadie más de la familia que vaya a terapia. I don't know.
Y a lo mejor por lo mismo, de que ellos saben que alguien va a decir. El que dirán también.
El que dirán.
It was huge. I think it's still very prevalent in ours, but it was way bigger with our parents.
Yeah. Y sabes, de cierta manera, no sé si te pasa a ti, pero cuando yo empecé terapia o cuando comencé a buscar estos tipos de recursos, yo no le dije a nadie. Absolutamente a nadie. Mis padres acaban de enterar a la mejor hace 3-4 meses
que ¿Qué te dijeron?
Que yo empecé terapia. They were proud of me.
Oh.
They were good for you. ¿Sabes que mis padres have always supported me en todo lo que yo he hecho, pero para que ellos lo hagan en su vida, it's
hard.
Different, right?
Yeah.
So they were like, good for you, mija, like, échale ganas, qué bueno que tienes ese apoyo y todo. Pero I made it very private por lo mismo, porque en cierto modo como que a mí todavía me daba como que, ¿qué van a decir? ¿Qué van a decir cuando sepan que yo voy a terapia? So, yeah, it's still kind of that thought of like, el qué dirán.
Yeah.
Por como crecimos, I guess, con esa cultura. But I don't know. We would love to like know your comments, your thoughts on how was your parents brought up with this belief of therapy.
And you know, for me, I feel like my parents are so confusing. They're like, I don't know, like gaslighters. I don't know. Because my mom is like very weird about that. But we had, I don't even remember what exactly it was. But when I was younger, don't know the age, something traumatic happened in our family, like between the sisters, or I don't remember. But my mom, I don't know if like court made her go this route or what, but my mom sought out a therapist and we were all going to counseling, like as a family.
Okay.
And they stopped going, but I kept going and I would see this person individually until I don't know why I stopped. But so I've always loved the idea of it and talking to somebody, maybe because I got the exposure younger.
Wow.
And then I didn't see anybody until like 4 years ago or something.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was like weird. My mom sought it out. I feel like it was court order or something. And then they just stopped going. But I was like, no, I'm going to keep going. I remember I'd walk by myself to go because it was like close to the house.
Really?
I would like walk by myself to go see this person. My mom never asked me what it was about. She never asked me like, what are you talking about? Are you okay? Nothing, because my mom doesn't talk about things.
Right.
Like I remember I asked my grandma, her mom, I asked her like, how did you meet my grandpa? And like, how old were you? And tell me about it. And I was like, Mom, did you know that my grandma was like 15 years old and my grandpa se la robó, and that her mom was coming in and then my grandma was like acostadita, escondida in the car or something like that. And she's like, no, ¿cómo sabes? I was like, I just asked. Like I literally just asked. And I'm very good at like getting people to tell me and talk to me, you know? So I did that with my grandma and she told me like other little things. And I was like, Mom, did you know? She's like, no. I was like, why don't you just ask? You just have to talk about it. But there's like this, no andes preguntando, falta de respeto.
Pues en los tiempos de ellos así era, porque mi mamá también me dice que ella no podía hablar con mi abuelita acerca de relaciones, no podía hablar. ¿Sabes qué tampoco podían? No, o sea, no era el tema de la menstruación. Ellas no tenían esa conversación. So they would have to like figure it out whenever like their body came
it's
to
like,
that.
girl, you literally go through that.
Yeah, so y mi mom dijo, yo me las tuve que averiguar, yo tuve que like saber lo que mi cuerpo estaba haciendo.
Isn't that weird?
It was, yeah.
And then like thankfully for us living in the US, we have that education in school, but also it can be very, for us like with the Christian background, it can also be a little, what's the word? Misleading, maybe, for lack of a better word, of like, hey, but you're promoting my child to be promiscuous, but just be safe about it. Which I get, be safe if you are going to be that route, but it's also just kind of like, it's fine, sex is fine, it ain't nothing, just wear a condom. But I don't want my daughter knowing that. I want my daughter to know that she's a temple of God and that it's sacred and that it's a special thing.
I guess it's like a balanced topic because también they give the children awareness of like everything that could happen if they made that decision.
I feel like parents should be having that conversation though.
Yeah.
Like I should be having that conversation with Noah. And like you need to understand that if you are going to be doing that, you better wait until you're married. But if you are, there's responsibilities to it. The best way to avoid having those responsibilities is don't do it, you know? But you have responsibilities if it happens.
Well, I think here in the United States, and I might be wrong, but I remember I learned this in middle school, and I think I was, fifth, sixth grade.
Yeah.
Where it was like health class.
Yeah.
And they what you said. We come into our second topic, first generation guilt. And like you were mentioning, now that we're raised here in the United States, it's very different from how they were raised out there in Mexico.
Yeah.
And when you hear the sentence, first generation guilt, what comes to your mind?
I think of like imposter syndrome.
What is that?
It's like when you tienes un logro, pero you feel like, I don't deserve this. Like, how do I have this? And I think that comes a lot from our, from Latinos. Like our parents came here and they're like, just keep your head down, just be quiet. Y que sí. Like, tú no más haz caso. You're just here to work and make a living and you're fine. Like it's, and I don't know for all of that Latinos, but like my parents, they didn't really strive to get more above and beyond, you know. They were just like, we're just here, we're glad we're out of the rancho. They're from a rancho and they're very old school, very that type of mentality. Mm-hmm. So I think they just kept their head down. They're like, okay, we just come here, we work, we have a place to live, we have food, we're good.
Yeah.
And when it reminded me of like when I had this job that I recently had, I had a lot of that imposter syndrome, and my manager, shout out Jackie, if you're watching, but she was such a good mentor and she was such a good manager. And I like was working in HR, and I was just like what was it, like HR generalist, or before generalist, I forget what it was, like specialist, like, and I was just supposed to go in and do like, I remember she specifically told me that I was going to be on Slack and like encouraging people and like getting people to do certain activities or whatever. I was like, oh, that's easy. That's literally what I do without being paid, you know? So I was like, okay, that, and I forgot what other thing, but pretty much I was going to be like her assistant.
Okay.
And then within a few months, I was taking over, like I took over payroll and all these other things. And then a year passed and I was doing more and more. And then I was there 6 years or 5.5 years or something like that. I forgot. And a lot of the times I was like, who am I? Like, what am I even, like, I'm like, who am I with this title? Y me creo. I was like, I don't really do much. Like, se metía en esos pensamientos. I was like, yo ni hago nada aquí. And I'm like, and then sometimes I would talk to her about it, but she would always encourage me and be like, you know, I couldn't do any of this without you. Like, you do so much. And then I would kind of just sit there and think of all the like little things I do, but I would just do them. So I didn't mean, I was just like, this is just my job, you know?
Okay.
But it was a lot of like tasks that I had on my plate. And a lot of the times I just felt like so out of place. Oh. And I remember one time she left on maternity leave and I was like in the meetings, like with the executives. And I was like, I don't have the best vocabulary and like sentence structure, whatever. So I was like, what am I going to say? I'm going to sound like an idiot. I'm not even educated. I don't even have associates, like nothing. And these people are all very smart and not my culture. Nobody there is in my culture. Nobody there is Mexican. Because even then, at least that I would feel like a little bit at home, you know?
Okay.
But I was like, I'm a woman. I'm the only woman here. And she was too, but she's at least educated, you know? Right. She's smart. And I'm like, I don't even have an associate's. What am I doing here? And I was just kind of there to listen. And like, whatever. And I was like, wait, I was like, but God brought me here for a reason. Mm-hmm. God thinks that I am able. Amen. God thinks that I can participate and be and catch on to whatever is being said. And I have a purpose here, and God knows that. And I think that was more than anything for God to tell me, like, stop making yourself small. And if I open a door, just appreciate it. But that's hard. And I think that comes back to that. Like, it's really hard for me to accept a compliment, to un halago. I'm always like, whatever. Because also, like, my mom never, I think to her it didn't happen either. She never was like, I don't remember my mom ever telling me, like, ay, qué bonita te ves. Never. And even now when she tries to do it, it sounds so sarcastic. It bugs me. I'm like, stop.
Oh, sure.
And it's like so ungenuine.
Okay.
So I think that going back to the generational, like what is it that I said it's called? I always forget.
It's the first generation guilt.
The imposter syndrome.
Oh.
I think as Mexicans with like our parents like that, we get that a lot. And good for you, those people that don't, because that's the best. Like for you to always know your worth. But I think most of us feel that guilt. Like, what am I even doing here? Like, how do I get here? My parents never pushed me and told me, oh, you're great. You're going to do amazing things. You're awesome. So I always had that, like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not doing this and that? And again, I think that really comes from that. But other people do have those parents that like encourage them and push them. But did you have that and you still felt that imposter syndrome of like, ay, aquí estoy yo con mi master's type thing?
Yo siento que desde chiquita yo traté de hacer a mis padres orgullosos. Uh-huh. Siempre que mi padre decía, ¿por qué no ves esta carrera? Like, I would look into it just because he made the comment. On my side, like my experience, I think I experienced guilt in the way that I finished my master's. I was first generation and like immediate family to do that. So, I would feel like guilty that I was able to and that they weren't.
Oh.
So it was a little bit of that, de sentirme like, dang, tengo todo esto y ellos nunca lo pudieron tener. ¿Sí me entiendes? En ese tipo de sentido que yo me sentía culpable de ese modo. Pero también al igual, eso me daba motivación para seguir luchando por más y más y más. Y hasta la fecha sigo luchando por más. Siento que no soy conformista.
Yeah.
Pero a la misma vez me pongo a reflexionar y siento como esa culpabilidad de ellos no lo tuvieron y yo sí.
Yeah.
Algo que me tocó también muchísimo fue un dicho que está por ahí que dicen, be patient with your parents because it's their first time living too.
Yeah.
So with that in thought, nobody taught them how to be parents, así como nosotros. Nadie nos dijo cómo ser padres. Y sí, a lo mejor hay opiniones aquí y allá de cómo podemos hacerlo mejor. Pero ellos crecieron en una cultura donde no había comunicación entre familiares, entre sus padres, entre tíos, en decirles, mira, mija, si lo haces así está mejor, o ve a la escuela. Yo sé que mis padres desde muy chiquitos tuvieron que trabajar para sus estudios y tuvieron que dejar sus estudios para seguir trabajando para proveer a su familia, ¿no? A sus hermanos, a sus padres, lo que fuera. So, no tuvieron como that encouragement that now they give us. Como tú dices, tus padres tienen un estilo de echarte porras somehow, right? In my situation, I think my parents sí me echan porras, pero a su manera. Y a veces puede ser muy duro, muy fuerte a cómo me retan en la vida, pero también tienen su parte suavecita. So, like in my parents, it's a little bit balanced.
Yeah.
Pero sí te entiendo. Y creo que cada padre tiene su estilo, ¿no? De cómo echar porras, o si a lo mejor ellos no tuvieron eso de que alguien los echara porras.
Yeah, because I told my mom one time, I was like, because she'll like do funny little things. And then I'm like, why do you do that? Like, don't you see that it's kind of like backhanded? And then she's like, she like jokes about it to like try to make light, but I'm like, no, this is a serious topic. Like, you're being rude, and like, why do you think that's okay? And she said, when I grew up, she's like, that's all it was. It was just talking like down on people for some reason, and that was just like something funny. I forgot exactly how she said it. And I was just like, well, I don't like it, so don't do it. So I just kind of put up my boundary there, but it's hard. It's like a constant thing. But I think for me, I'm my own drive and motivation. And at the same time, like I was saying, I do like, there's a part of me that's like, I hope they're proud. I hope they see that I did things right.
Right.
I got married first, then I had my baby. I have a house, I have cars, they're paid off. And I don't have like these big old nice cars, but I have a working vehicle,
Right.
And I'm like, and I did things like right according to how my mom wanted me to. My mom was very like, you guys have to get married, and you guys then do your family, blah blah blah. So I'm like the only one, and I feel like I did that for you guys. I did that for my mom, to be honest. And a lot of it was, I remember when I was younger, I was like, I can't let my mom down in that. Like, that was important to her. And I did that for her, but also because she showed me that that's what God wanted for me.
Gotcha.
And sometimes I'm like, girl, just like, give me one flower. Gosh, girl. Like, look at everything that I do have. And I don't have like these big things, but you know what I mean? Like, look at everything that your daughter has accomplished, because she did play a part. And I do tell her, I'm like, I'm so grateful that you taught me about God. Because if she didn't teach me about God, I don't know where I would be of the streets.
Dang.
And like, we talk about that and we laugh about it, but it's true, girl. I'm Munoz through and through. I'm my dad's daughter, and me gusta el borlote, I'm my dad's daughter, and that side of the family, they're very much like, like that. And I like it, and it's fun. Why am I going to say that it's not?
Right.
But it's like, if my mom hadn't taught me about God since I was little, I don't know. I don't know where I would be. I don't know the decisions that I would have made. And yes, me and my sisters all grew up in the same household, but I feel like you each get a different version of your parents.
Right.
I was the worst one, And so my parents were learning everything with me as they went. When they had my second and my third sister, or second and third child, they learned something from me, then they changed it with her. Then they learned something from me in the second one, and they changed it with the third one. You know, it always works that way. And so I think that helped or made it just different, I guess.
Yeah.
I think within our culture too, we're so used to just the way we think because we don't explore other cultures. Even though we're in America now, we don't really, como se dice, like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, but we just don't not that we're not accepting, but we just stay within our culture. We just stay within just our Mexican little circle or Latinos, you know? So it's hard for us to learn other things because even for me now, I have some friendships or acquaintances that are outside of my culture. And it's been a cultural shock for me. And I'm older and I know better. Según.
Right.
And that's been a cultural shock. I have some American friends, girlfriends, and I'm like, y'all just think so different. And they're so calm. And they're so level-headed. I feel like I'm like, so am I just the trauma one or what? Am I just traumatic? I'm just traumatized. And so dating outside of your culture is also weird or can be weird. Yeah. I've never dated outside of my culture, even though within our group, I remember we were like, oh, we have a little bit of everything in our group. We have a Dominican, we have a Cuban, we have a Mexican, and we have a gringa. Yeah. I was like, I guess, yeah, you guys are right. I'm the gringa because, yes, I'm Mexican, but let's be real. Right. I'm more American than I am. You know, I have more American culture than anything, but I'm still proud to be Mexican. And even when I talk Spanish, it's not the best, but it's there. Yeah. ¿Me entienden?
Claro que sí.
But yeah, so have you ever dated outside your culture?
Yes, I have. And it was...
Was it weird? Was it a cultural shock?
Yes and no, and a couple things. Yes, because there was a couple things that I learned that in my culture we don't do, but no, because I grew up here in the United States too. Okay. So I had heard of it, and I had kind of just seen it in other friends, and like you mentioned, having friends from other cultures too. So I kind of had a feel for it, but when I actually dated somebody from another culture, I saw it firsthand. I'm like, oh wow.
So what was something that you were like, what the heck?
Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this, so you're gonna have to kind of pause it.
So for me, I remember it was kind of like a dating. I guess we were in the dating phase. He was Mexican, but he was white-sican, you know, like me, more white than Mexican.
Oh, okay.
But I'm definitely more Mexican than he was, and I was just like, I don't know, man. How are you going to talk to my family? That's the first thing that came to mind. How are you going to talk to my family? My family talk to you. How are you guys going to along? And it's something so basic and so simple. At the fundamental, I'm just like, you can't even communicate. Sure, there's ways, blah, blah. But I'm just like, that's so, for me, that's the first thing that came to mind. Y según yo, I wouldn't consider myself that Mexican, but it's weird that was something that was the first thing I thought about. It didn't go far. But I've never dated outside of my culture.
What about friends?
For friends, I think, I don't know how to describe it, but I just feel, and it's probably more than anything me, I just feel out of place. I just feel like I don't know English or Spanish 100%.
Okay.
So I can flow between the two, my Spanglish, but I don't know one language perfectly. And so I don't speak very well in English or Spanish, mucho menos en español. And so when I'm around them, I feel like I look like an idiot. I talk so dumb. Gotcha. And they're just like, okay, uneducated girl, you know? So it's probably more me than them because they're so respectful and so humble. Aww. But I just kind of feel out of place like that. I'm just like, I can't even talk good to a Spanish person in Mexico. I'm like, van a decir que esta gabacha, esta gringa. I'm like, I'm a Chicana, I guess. Yeah. I didn't like that term. I felt like it was demeaning. But it is what it is.
¿Sabes qué aprendí yo cuando fui a estudiar en México? And I learned the hard way how to talk proper Spanish y la gramática y todo. Pero me decían la pocha.
Yeah. I forget what other word I know.
Era una palabra que nunca jamás en mi vida había escuchado. Y cuando me decían, eres pocha. And I'm like, ¿Qué es pocha? I thought they were like telling me like
Insulting
a bad word.
La tuya.
Pero esa palabra se me hacía bien interesante, que eres pocha, o ¿cuál era la otra que me decían?
There's this one word, but I can't think of it right
No
now.
me acuerdo, pero me decían
I'm
otras.
okay insulting.
Sí.
At least I know 2 languages. Ahí voy toda ofendida. At least I know 2 languages. What do you know? 1?
¿Sabes que sí sirvió bastante estudiar allá? Porque realmente te enseñan.
Pero aún
Proper.
así, si tú hablas con una persona que habla el español correcto, no.
No, todavía
Nada que ver.
no.
It's because you have to practice it every day. And we live in New Mexico too, aparte. So New Mexico, it's very Spanglish. And it's, well, one, let's just start here. We're a poor state, so that should tell you everything.
Yeah.
And then from there, we speak a lot of Chicano Spanish, like a lot of Spanglish.
Yep.
So even us knowing English, there's a lot of little words that we say in Spanish that are like, that's not a real word. And so we have, ¿de dónde ganamos, dude? But it is what it is. At least we know 2 languages.
Dime una palabra de aquí de Nuevo México que nomás es New Mexican.
I would say the que va.
Que va.
Oh, que va. What does that even mean? Like, how do you explain it? Que va.
Y otra es ala. Ala.
Pero ¿cómo defines que va? Es como expresión, ¿no? Que va este muchito. Ahí están 2 muchachito, pero es muchito. Que va como, ay, qué bárbaro.
Yeah.
Se puede decir, qué bárbaro. Yes, there's a bunch of weird little words. But anyways, well, we're going to do a little interesting fact.
Yes. Let's do one about you, and
okay.
I could do a small one too.
If you're still watching here, please let me know in the comments. Write down gross. If you don't, and put a little hat emoji of like a person raising up their hand if you do. So I do this, and I thought everybody did this.
Okay.
But apparently not. And I haven't seen somebody else do it. I think maybe one other person. But whenever I eat chips, I lick the chip, and then I eat it. Do you do that?
No.
See, because I don't notice. I'm not over here looking at chip lickers. Or you could put chip licker if you are. But I always lick the chip first.
Really?
And then, hold on, you can hear my son. I always lick the chip first, and then I eat it. One time my little sister had a friend. Sorry. Quiet, Noah! Anyways, real quick. Takis. I was eating them. Lo estaba lambiendo. Y mientras le acababa de lamberlos, los metía en la bolsa. Porque ya me dolía la lengua, no sé. And I throw them back in there.
No,
y ahí va este.
¡Ay, no! ¡Ay, no!
Ahí va este metiche amiguito de mi hermana. And he's all eating them. I didn't notice. And then he's all, ¿por qué están tan desabridos?
That's gross.
Girl. And then I noticed and I was like, wait, why are you eating my chips? And he's all, why do they taste like that? Because then they dry right away.
They do.
Y lo aparte son corn, so it just absorbs the saliva.
Wait, pero todavía haces eso de que lo chupas y
No,
okay,
I just eat it.
No.
I don't know why I did that time. And then his name's Edwin. I don't know if he'll ever come across our videos, but he has to remember. This was crazy that he did that. But yeah, he did that. And I was like, boy, don't be eating people's chips. That's your lesson learned. Moral of the story is, if you're a chip licker, people need to not be eating your chips. Maybe that's why I do it, so people don't take my chips.
Maybe.
But yeah, that was fun.
Man, now I'm going to be cautious whenever I get your chips.
Mind your business. I'm a chip licker. What about you?
Well, I think I have a similar. I can't eat food without hot sauce.
Oh my God.
And I experienced this with you. But pretty much le pongo hot sauce a todo. And I mean
but not
todo.
Not dessert, right?
No, not dessert.
Just like food.
Yes, I'm not that weird.
Okay, well.
I'll put a line there. Pero a todo. No, a line.
Oh, I was all saying, girl, lime.
No. Y cuando digo a todo es todo. Tú me diste una pasta Alfredo. Una de las primeras veces que vine para hacer a recording, right?
It was just Sabbath. I invited you over.
Oh, okay. ¿Y te pedí tapatío o te pedí Valentina?
And I'm not a tapatío girl. We're a Valentina household. But yeah, I was like, ¿para qué, dude? ¿Vas a comer pasta?
So, le echo salsa a toda la comida, ya sea pastas, ya sea... Girl, you name it, yo le echo.
Yeah, wild. I took a little video because I was wild. That was wild work. I was like, how are you putting Valentina on a creamy, cheesy milk, garlic sauce? I don't know, that was crazy.
Y hoy, de hecho, agarré a small break en mi trabajo para ir a comprar salsa porque se me había acabado y yo pues compro la tapatío.
Oh, okay.
Y mi compañera fue conmigo and she started laughing porque compré 2. Y dijo, why 2?
One in my bag.
Le dije, una para el trabajo, una para en la casa porque no puedo estar sin salsa. Le digo a mi compañera, no me sabe nada la comida sin salsa.
Girl.
Y también,
do you make salsa or you just like that one?
I tried, pero no me sale tan picante y como a lo mejor no le echo tanto sazón, como que no, más no. So, compro la tapatío, claro que me gusta la salsa recién hecha, cualquier cosa que pique, pero me gusta.
Just give you a piece of habanero.
No me puedo acordar qué era lo que me dio mi tía de comer también. Y le pregunté que si tenía salsa, and she gave me the look of like, are you okay?
Dude, my suegro, we went to Red Lobster one time. Okay. And then this lady she's like you, literally, this is going to be you when you're older. She had jalapenos in her purse. And then she brings one out. She's like, no, quiero uno ya. Y ahí va Sí. I Red Lobster. It's like doing that at Olive Garden.
He tratado de encontrar mini tapatíos para traer en mi bolsa.
Girl. Crazy. Pues cada quien, ¿no?
Yeah. Pero por lo menos no le echo al postre.
So if you're still watching, comment down chip liquor if you're like the real ones.
Okay.
Or comment tapatío. If you need chili with everything. Anyways, thank you if you made it this far. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful rest of your week whenever you're watching. If you're working out, good for you. If you're driving to work, be careful. Drink sip on that coffee. Enjoy it. And thank you so much for watching with us. And don't forget, let's lead together.